Hello, I'm David.
And I'm Gail.
And we're heading off to Tangier. Right here, we're sipping coffee, and you can see our names written in Arabic. We're at the Casa Voyageur station in Casablanca, and we're heading by high-speed train to Tangier, the El Boraq high-speed train.
And here we are actually at Tangier, the international port city that is just across the way from Spain and Portugal.
And now we're walking into the Medina towards our lovely hotel. It's actually a Riad, which is a sort of a very fancy mansion house with a courtyard, large courtyard in the center of it. We're going to be featuring the hotels we stayed at in Morocco because they were so unique, so fantastic compared to the standard fare that you would get in a regular hotel. And this is just one example of one. They're all different. This one, just by way of comparison, this one cost about 100 euros a night. Quite charming. And if anybody sees one of these little devices, please let me know because I really want to buy one.
There we are on the roof of our Riad.
Yeah, and a lovely view over the Atlantic Ocean.
But you also see the Mediterranean because both are really at the spot where Tangier is.
And we're just heading off for lunch here at the Gran Café Central. And that's right down in the Petit Soko in the Medina.
It was a favorite hangout for Tennessee Williams and Paul Bowles, American writers and playwright. They really liked this international city, the city of freedom. And here is the Cinema Rif, Art Deco cinema from the French period in Morocco.
We're now going into the American Legation. It's a 5-story mansion, but it's famous because it's the first European port to recognize the USA in 1777. It's also the first piece of American real estate abroad and the first National Historic Landmark on foreign soil.
There was once a large population of Jewish people in Morocco. We visited the cemetery in Tangier as well as the synagogue. This is in a quarter called the Mellah, and we visited Mellahs throughout the country. Beautiful handcrafted work. Dinner time, and we went to the popular Saveur de Poisson, and this is a fish restaurant where 4 courses are offered by the chef every day, and it's really whatever the chef chooses given the catch of the day. It was a surprise.
It was a very beautiful meal, lots of food for sure, great fruit juices, quite a wonderful experience. And here we are just heading back to our Riad for the evening, and it was, again, quite safe to walk around Tangier at nighttime. We headed up to the rooftop of our Riad for just a couple of last-minute views looking out over the bay before we got ready for the next day in Tangier.
We began another full day by walking along the ramparts of Tangier and looking over the port area.
It's kind of interesting. This is the way we walked into Tangier from the train station when we first arrived. Right now you're going to see the Hotel Continental, which is where Degas hung out, artist Degas.
This is the former tribunal building.
And wherever you go, you'll always find a picture of the current king, King Mohammed VI. Right now we're walking around the Medina once more, just soaking in the flavors of the area. Always a pleasant place to walk around. Tangier was home to a great number of American authors, many from the Beat generation, also as well as Paul Bowles, very famous author. Here we are at the Gran Café de Paris. This is where Tennessee Williams, Truman Capote, and Paul Bowles all hung out. And right now we're coming up to, not that we could get in, but the Tangier Inn was also a pub, and that was quite a grotty little pub that Ginsberg, Kerouac, and other beats hung out. And we're back in the Medina again, and now in a museum.
The Museum of Mediterranean Cultures, and you'll see that there's contemporary art, but also ancient art. It is in a former sultan's palace that was built in the 17th century and enlarged in the 19th century. So you see the original texture and craftsmanship of that palace.
And this is actually an original Roman floor mosaic from Volubus, one of the famous Roman sites in Morocco.
And also the name of a line of wine.
And speaking of wine, here we are having our final dinner for the night, for our stay in Tangier, as a matter of fact. Again, more seafood, lots of seafood, great oysters, by the way.
And desserts.
And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much our wrap for this trip to Tangier. We're again ending up on the rooftop of our Riad for taking the sunset. Very beautiful place indeed. We quite enjoyed our time here, but we're looking forward to our next journey by bus to Chefchaouen.
Well, I'm not looking forward to that bus ride, but we had a wonderful time in Tangier.